Hi, this is Rich Sparks, Keller Williams Realty, and we're going to do a little market update. We actually have a lot of stuff going on, so I wanted to update everyone. Um, Today we're going to talk about the current market conditions, what's new in the landscape of real estate, what's real estate going to look like after this. We're going to check out several virtual tours on properties and give you an opportunity to actually find out more and put an offer in. Touch base with the title company, let you know what's going on there. This is going to impact you if you're looking at refinancing or purchasing a home. We're going to look at what changes Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac are making and how it'll impact your chance of refinancing your home or purchasing a new one. We're going to give you some great tips on working from home. I worked from home forever and a day, and I have a few tips that really made a huge difference. And then we're going to coin a new phrase. I want everyone's help on this. We're going to have a little bit of fun just to break up the monotony of being home. And I truly, truly hope you enjoy. All right. Hope you like my little intro. So we're going to be starting off with a little bit of, and you're going to have to excuse me. You can see I have a ton of technology out here. Normally we would have someone working with me, but keeping that social distancing thing going, I'm going to be running all this myself. So if you enjoy watching NASCAR just simply to watch the cars crash, then you're going to want to watch this whole program, because the odds of me crashing on this is pretty good. But hopefully we can get it and make it worth your time. So let's start off real quick with a little bit of fun. This is a Michigan trivia question. So I want to see if you can answer these. Put them below. Whoever gets the most answers correct, who knows? We might even get a prize for you. So by population, which city in Michigan is the biggest? Go ahead and put your answer in below, and we're going to get right over to the news here. What's going to go on with the real estate market? And we all know that there's a lot of changes going on. We know that there's a lot going to be happening with real estate, and quite frankly, some things that are going to come out of this will be really good. I think we're going to see the practices of real estate really modernized. Now, I've had several people call wondering, hey, is the market going to crash again? And I fear that's not going to be the case. Right off the bat, starting off the market this year in 2020 was an incredibly strong start compared to last year. Now, last year, we had a little bit of a cooling period that we just didn't experience this year. So we're seeing more and more people's demand increase. Now, according to the National Association of Realtors, that due to the coronavirus, we've had approximately 11% of sellers hold off selling their home, but we've only experienced between a 7 to 9% decrease in buyers. So we're going to look at that. That's really going to become prevalent. One of the reasons we're having such high demand, obviously, is the 30-year fixed mortgage rate is just incredibly low. And this is driving, quite frankly, if you were to purchase a home last year that was a $200,000 home compared to this year, your monthly payment and your overall cost on that property is going to be greatly reduced. So that's going to have a huge impact on it. Now, how do we determine price? This is where people kind of miss it a little bit. Price is always determined by supply and demand. How many houses are for sale? How many houses are coming on the market? And how many buyers we have. So that's going to make an incredible difference with where prices are going to go. So one of the neat things that we've been seeing here is that we've had a steady increase in buyers, but yet the emergency staff outside, we've had an incredibly increase in buyers, but what we haven't seen is a whole lot of inventory coming on. So that's totally different than what happened in 2008. And we're going to look at that too. So what we're seeing with the annual traffic, year after year, and you can see this is on a national basis, West Coast, South, Northeast, and Midwest. Midwest, we're a little more stable at 15.7%. But overall, that's still quite huge. Existing home sales have increased day in and day out. And we're going to look at this locally, and we're going to compare February with last year. But you can see even in the Midwest, we're up 8.4%, which is huge. These are huge numbers for demand. Remember, price is determined by supply and demand. Now, with the coronavirus going on, is that going to impact it? I think it's going to hit us for a quarter. I don't know if it's going to be long enough to really have a dramatic increase in pricing. For this reason, our inventory declined year after year, and you can see these on various price points. So houses below 200,000 have decreased. This is supply by 19%. 19%. And I don't know about you, but I think the average person purchasing a home is probably purchasing in that price arena. That first-time home buyer, our millennials, they're all going to be in that arena. Between 200 and 750,000, we're still down 12%. So those are some huge numbers, and this all goes back to supply and demand. So when considering what's going on, and these are building permits. Building permits are trying to increase to match the need, but they just can't keep up. And one of the things you really want to look for in the whole building arena, if you're a baby boomer, and that's what we specialize in, we do a tremendous amount of downsizing moves, probate, estate sales, trust, all those things. Now, the thing that they don't say here is I think it's less than 0.2% are going to be ranch style homes. So if you're going to be looking for a ranch style home in the next 5 years, if you look at those demographics of our baby boomers, it's increasing while supply is decreasing. And once again, pricing is supply and demand. Now, let's go into here. So with better than seasonal demands, we're seeing that prices are continuing to go up. And we're going to take a look at on a local level here. Now, the other thing that I want you to keep in mind, the difference between 2008 and currently was going into 2008 in the Metro Detroit area, we started seeing declines. I've been a full-time realtor for over 20 years, right around 20 years. And we saw coming into it, we started getting impacted by 2005, 2006. The rest of the country is like, oh, you people are just whiners. I had some agents I was chatting with in California, and they're like, oh, it's great. Then 2 years later, after we had already adjusted to it, they started coming on board going, oh, the sky is falling. But let's take a look locally here. And, going back to this real quick. So the thing you got to remember, back then, people were using their homes like ATM machines. Hey, I'm going to go on vacation. Pull money out. Hey, consolidate your credit cards and then fill them back up. ATM machine, houses. And people were ripping that equity off. The increase in property values were insane. So people were buying a home and within 6 months had this crazy amount of unearned equity just sitting there. But they weren't letting it sit there. They were snagging it. We're not seeing that now. National statistics are right now, and this is pretty cool. So 37% of homes in America have no mortgage whatsoever. No secondary loans, no primary loans. I remember the days when people would have a primary loan, a secondary loan, and they would have a home equity line on it. All three. Now, 37% of homes in America have no mortgage at all. Of the remaining 63%, more than 1 in 4 have an equity position of over 50%. This is night and day. I did read an article this morning basically saying that if this was to go on, and when I say go on, meaning we were stuck in our homes for 6 months, we would start seeing dramatic decreases in home prices. I don't think we're going to be there. Now, looking on a local basis, this is all the MLS in the Metro Detroit area. And as you can see here, I'm going to show you some pretty cool stats. So let's go to February 2020. The entire MLS new listings 128,605 or 753. It's a little bit far away from me. Now let's go back. So we had 127,000. So we do see more houses coming on the market than last year. But let's look at pending sales. And here's the big difference. So if we go February of 2019, pending sales were around 86,000, basically homes. Now look at it. 88,000, a substantial increase. So we're seeing that our market is incredibly hot, which means that, once again, what determines price? Say it with me. You know this. Supply and, that's right, demand. You got this. You're hip on this stuff. So let's take a look at closed sales. So closed sales in February, 87,000. Now let's just go back to closed sales in 2019. 86,000. Here again, you can see that's a pretty dramatic difference between the two. So overall, what I anticipate and what I perceive and I think is going to happen here is we're going to get by this. We're going to have some paradigm shifts that we're going to talk about in a little bit, which quite frankly are some paradigm shifts that should have happened in this industry. I remember a decade ago when they were saying, hey, it's going to be paperless. Yeah, I don't think so. I have not seen it happen. So we're going to check out a couple more things. But even if prices do dip on us, I don't think it's going to have as dramatic of an input than you think it's going to have. We see, once again, a very strong demand and a low supply, which means during this time, and going back to what the National Association of Realtors said, that we've seen a decrease of 11% in people putting their houses on the market. So that inventory level is shrinking even more. But we've seen a smaller decrease in buyers. So here again, supply, demand. We're going to have increased demand, decreased supply, which is going to do what to prices? Yep. Now, all of this could change, and I don't have a crystal ball. And when people tell you they know what's going to go on in the market, they do not. So we're going to do one of our first virtual tours. One of our first virtual tours. Keep in mind, we're not going to show you the whole video. So what you have to do is this. If you like this property, I want you to go ahead and direct message us, call us, whatever the case may be. We're going to walk through, and there is a possibility, depending on the particular seller, that you might be able to tie up this property and walk through it. So it'd be conditional upon you walking through it once this ban is lifted, where we can actually go out and do these things. Now, we do have some other options that my team and myself have come up with. We're very blessed going into this situation that we've been doing technology, as you can see on my desk here, for a little bit. So we're able to do those virtual tours. We're real true virtual tours. So let's right now take a look. This is 62874 Walker Court. Hope you enjoy it. This property is located in Washington Township. This is a 3-bedroom condo, so it's pretty rare to get that 3-bedroom condo. It's close to 2,000 square feet. Has a raised back area. And one of my favorite parts is coming up here right now, which is this 3 Seasons room. After we show the cathedral ceiling, it could use a little paint. That's actually from where you used the fireplace, I think. But it has a wonderful 3 Seasons room off the back, and it's wooded behind there. You also have this grilling deck on back, which I think is pretty cool. So this is 6287 Walker Court. Asking price on it is $300,000. 3-bedroom condo in Washington Township. If you're interested in this property, what you need to do is to direct message us and to let us know. If you are interested, what we're going to do, because we don't want to play 8-9 minutes and walk you through it, we're going to set up a personal virtual tour just for you. And we have the ability to do that, to walk through, to ask any. Oh, we're getting all kinds. All kinds of people texting in. So there is some interest in that property. But please, if you like that property, let us know. We're going to get you through a virtual tour, and we're going to make this a very interesting situation to get you moving and grooving on down the road. So what's the new landscape of real estate going to be? That's pretty much on everyone's mind. What's that? Where are we going from here? I actually think there's going to be some positive things that come out of this. And as I bring this up here, one of the things is we work with a lot of people who are dealing with their mom and dad's estates, or they're dealing with their parents helping them downsize. A lot of baby boomers that have moved to Florida, Colorado, etc. And the problem even then, before all this happened, is too much of the system in place is face-to-face. We don't live in that world anymore. So we've taken what we were already doing, expanded a little bit, and I wanted to kind of go through it with you. So this is what the Rich Sparks team is doing for our listings. And let me give you a little idea here. So the system we put together is to have a 98% virtual sale. Now, what's that mean? First off, doing that virtual consultation with a potential client, really doing a in-depth needs analysis to make sure that we're hitting all their points. Then we go back and we do a pinpoint pricing analysis. Now, if you're not sure what I mean by that, tune in next week. I am going to go over the number one way that sellers lose money on the sale of their home. This is something you're not going to want to miss. Too many people do it. They don't even know it. Their house sells and they go, oh, but if you've left $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 on the table and you didn't realize it. But according to national stats, the number one reason, and I'm going to go over that next week, same time, don't miss out. So let's get back to this. Next, we're going to be looking at handling all of the agreements in a virtual situation. Now, what we're doing for this is, here again, making life easy. We've produced a video we're going to send you before you even receive the agreements. You're going to be able to watch that video to ensure that once that contract comes across, you're going to be able to do what you need to do and not be going, oh, what button do I need? Oh, what do I do here? So make sure that this is the kind of system we're putting together to make our clients' life easy. We want to make this transaction seamless. Next, we're going to schedule, well, before anything, we're going to be scheduling a virtual review where you can ask every question, then you'll receive the video, then you're going to see the document come across digitally and sign it. So at that point, we've worked together, seller and the Rich Sparks team, as a team so that we get the information we need so we can do our job and keep you safe. Because keep in mind, even after this whole corona thing is done for this season, it's going to, or let me rephrase that. Even after this, hey, stay in your house or else is done, we're still going to have these issues carrying on. So do we want a tremendous amount of people in our house? Do we want to have, I remember people used to brag, we've had 100 people come through our home. I don't think people are going to want that. So that's why we've set this up. Next, we're going to schedule photos and videos. I'm not going to go into details on the things we've personally worked out with our team, but we have 3 different ways of getting this done in an efficient fashion to maximize it for our seller. So I'm going to bring that over. After that, we're going to prepare and hold a virtual open house, somewhat what we're doing earlier today or earlier in this program. Once that open house is done, and currently what we're going to be doing is we're going to receive, negotiate, accept that offer without the buyer even moving in. Right now, everyone's going, what? Let me switch over to this one. So here we go. Here's our first paradigm shift. Do you remember when? And I remember my father sitting there and cable came out and he's like, pay for television? Are you nuts? Who's going to pay for television? Here we are. Everyone's paying for television. Then, bottled water. Who's going to pay for bottled water? And it cracks you up, too. These can be more costly than pops, and it's just water that they grab from us, right? So we've had paradigm shifts. Here's the biggest one. Last year in New York, guess what? The number one gift given to young teenagers was gift cards to Uber. So when we were kids, it was like, hey, don't ride with strangers. Don't ever get in a stranger's car. Now we're like, hey, Merry Christmas. Go get in a stranger's car. So we're going to have paradigm shifts. So basically, this is what I foresee happening is decreasing that. Now, the way we're looking at handling this currently is once the buyer and we have an accepted offer, we set up a couple of different ways for them to view the property. To make sure. Now, they would have 48 hours to take care of that. If they agreed, then we're moving forward just like a regular transaction. Now, in this time when we have a I don't know what you call it, a shutdown, a house in place, we might have to make some allotments for it if we can't come to a digital situation, which we've been looking into also. Next, we'd have that home inspection. And here again, we've decreased the amount of people coming through this house by 98% or more. So we're keeping it to a minimum and still creating a great experience for all parties involved. Once that's done, we're going to sign off on the home inspection as long as all parties are acceptable with the terms and conditions. Then we're going through the appraisal process. And with that appraisal process right now, there's actually some changes going on for this current situation where they are looking at doing drive-by appraisals, which isn't totally new. And I'll go into that here in just a little bit. So we're trying to make this process to protect our clients as much as possible. Next, review all closing documents virtually, arrange final walkthrough, execute closing, all done with minimum exposure. And we've came up within our team here at Keller Williams Central a couple of different ways to handle that. Once again, what we're looking at doing is ensuring that your house gets sold or you're able to purchase that home, you still have a great experience. Actually, I think it's going to be a better experience. And we've minimized that people coming in and out of the property. We've minimized for the buyers having to go through 40 or 50 homes. This is something that you can do if you wanted to view one of our properties at your lunch hour on your phone, we can do that. So this is some of the things I think is going to happen. We're going to be seeing these changes going along and along. So here's a couple of things, and it's not just me. Here's a couple of things that is put out by Fannie and Freddie Mac. The Federal Housing Finance Agency has directed Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac to provide alternate appraisal requirements and employment verifications on loans and agencies servicing through May 17th. March, April, May. I don't think it's going to be 2 weeks. They're going to allow for homes to be bought, sold, and refinanced. So real estate isn't going to stop. Things are being put in place. If verifying employment, if they can't get a verbal verification, they're looking at other ways of doing it. So overall, it's not just us making adjustments, but it's actually the federal government. They see that need, and these changes are going to take place to keep real estate moving along. So let's look at a couple more things here, and then I want to bring a guest on to kind of tell you a little bit about title and what's going on in title. But before we do that, and I do apologize, I usually like to look straight ahead and smile during these things, but I'm trying to work that magic here. Here's another great property. Let me get it queued up for you. This one, I'll tell you what, is a simple dollhouse. It's located in Chesterfield, Michigan. It is a 2-bedroom condo, about 1,542 square feet. The asking price on this property is $200,000. I think it's a great deal personally. If you think it's a great deal, give us a little applause. You guys are awesome. You haven't even seen it yet. All right, let's check it out. And I'm telling you, the folks that had this house, what a design. They really did a nice job. I love the paver patios in front. It's a great little association. And here again, going back to what we were talking about, that first property was a ranch-style home. This one's a ranch-style home. These things are going to become so rare. If this is a property you're interested in, we're going to take a couple more minutes here to check out. Look at this. Isn't this gorgeous? They did such a beautiful job. Just such great architectural detail throughout this entire home. $200,000, located in Chesterfield Township. Now, if this is a house you're interested in, you're going to want to direct message us right now, or you're going to want to give us a call at area code 248-923-5500. That's 248-923-5500. That's going to allow you to do the full virtual tour and go from there. Now, isn't this cool, this little study off the side here? All right. If you're interested in seeing the rest, let us know. If you're currently working with an agent, reach out to your agent. If not, give the Rich Sparks team a call, and we're happy to go through the rest of this with you, because it is really a gorgeous house, and at $200,000, you might want to tie this up. Keep in mind, all these people that, all this bent up energy where they're sitting at home, can you imagine if it's 2, 3, 4 weeks before you can get back out into homes? It's going to be crazy. You thought it was crazy before, it's going to get nuts. All right, let's keep moving along. I got a lot of cool stuff yet to share with you. But before that, I want to bring in Pam from TransNation Title. We work with Pam quite a bit, Pam Hall. She is awesome. Great title company. But one of the things I'm real curious about is what is going on with title. So let me give her a quick call. Hello, Pam.
Hi, how are you?
Real good. How about yourself?
Good. Wonderful.
Excellent. Hey, We're doing our live show right now. And the reason for my call, and I appreciate you taking the time to answer it, is what are you seeing right now with the coronavirus? How are you handling closings now? I want to start off with that to help make sure and ensure that everyone is as protected as possible.
We are still open. We're considered an essential business. So we are evolving and adapting to our customers, our realtors, and what their needs are. So we have pretty standard process and steps that we're following to make sure we keep with the proper social distancing that we want to. So our offices are all locked. Most of my staff is working from home, with the exception of the front-facing and closers. And we're only allowing individuals that need to sign documents into our offices.
So the realtors have to stay outside.
Realtors, lenders, children, family, friends, whomever they typically would bring to closing, there's only signers coming inside at this point.
Hey, fair enough.
And we're asking, the standard questions. Have they traveled domestic, international? Have they been in contact, or are they feeling any of the flu-like symptoms that have been, on the radios and news and Facebook? So we're asking that because we want to make sure everybody's safe, including, them and us. And we're allowing a lot of time in between appointments to completely sanitize the office.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so they must take everything that they touch, such as the pen. But yeah, we're totally wiping down the office in between closings. So we are also offering curbside closing. So what that really means is
that's awesome.
So we're trying to get the documents to the customers before closing so that they can really read through them and we can go through them via the telephone. But, also if they want, they can pull up to our curb. We have the documents in a clipboard. We will give them our number. We'll go back into the office and they'll call us and we'll walk them through all of the documents. And, we have steps in place for the few documents that we must watch them sign, which is the notes in the mortgage and the deed. But we're keeping our distance, and then we're giving it back to them.
Well, that's awesome.
So it's it's a new way of doing business, and fortunately, the weather's being cooperative right now for that. But we're also doing e-signing for the people that have electronic means and can print the documents in their home. They can actually sign all of the documents with the exception of the few that need to be notarized, and they can bring their documents to us, and we will notarize them and give them their package. Again, more of the curbside service with that too. So the least amount of contact that we can have physically with them as best, and keeping our distance. So, and we are super excited. As you were talking, I watched a portion of your live. Things are going to change in our world.
Yeah.
Life is not coming to the closing table,
I think it's great.
Absolutely insist, but really, it's not about coming to the closing table anymore.
Yeah. Well, we've worked together for a long time. You see the videos we send out for all of our clients going over title work before they even get there. And I just know, especially with our older clients, that it makes the transition so much easier for them. And everything's a double-edged sword. I think one on the sad point, it was always kind of fun, that get-together at the table about 78.2% of the time, which is a percentage I made up for this phone call.
I agree with you. I love the closing table.
Yeah. Yeah, I miss the time when I used to go in and present offers in the house.
Oh,
That was fun.
Yeah.
Now, I did read an article here, actually early this morning, where they are working on going full digital signatures.
Remote online notary closings. Yes.
Okay. All
We're
right.
really, really, really close, and I've never seen it move. We've been talking about this for years, but even in the last 6 months, we've been talking about it a lot. In fact, I'm licensed to be able to notarize that way.
Okay.
It's not just every notary. It's a really simple process, but they still need to, be licensed with the state in order to do remote notary and e-notary. So we've already got our employees licensed for that, but it'll be rolling out soon. The lenders are jumping on board. The counties are jumping on board.
Fantastic.
And really, what that means is your customer can sign 100% of their documents online, whenever, wherever they want. I mean, how wonderful is that?
Well,
no more trying to schedule around vacations.
Well, especially our transactions. We often have a adult child signing in California. We have one coming up where they're signing in Tennessee. And I wanted to, I don't know if I should say this on the air, but I had a thought this morning because of all the wire fraud that's been going on, setting up wires. The requirement up to this point here, the last change was people actually physically coming into your office. How would you feel like the client we have in Tennessee who will be closing his property up here, if he was to do a Zoom meeting with you, showing his ID into the camera, and with verification from the agent, that them giving you the information that way?
Well, you know, we are always looking for ways to accommodate, and we're going to have to accommodate that.
Okay.
I mean, we are. I mean, we know we are going to run into this. We run into it a little bit now with people outside of the state. So I know that we'll have practices around that. Definitely will have to be a secured way of processing. And that's one thing that remote online notary is a secured webcam session. So I think we could get comfortable with that too, with a secure webcam session. So definitely know we got to do it, and we are very proactive. We got to change and adapt to the market.
Yeah,
and
that's
the needs
awesome.
Of the customers.
And at the end of the day, I think it's going to make a better experience for the client.
Oh, I do too.
People are so busy these days. I think doing the virtual tours and people have to have a paradigm shift. But I don't see any reason why we can't do external walk around so they can see the structure of the building, do a virtual tour, and only the accepted offer gets to actually go physically into the building, as long as agents are doing in-depth, long videos so people can get a real look at it. And then doing what we're doing, which is kind of neat. We came up with it. I don't know if you caught that part, but we're going to be doing live virtual tours so that we'll be on with the client, the potential buyer, and we can answer all their questions. They have questions on the age of the roof, questions on, well, what's this over here? And we'll be able to work with buyers in that fashion during this, because it's going to go beyond just us being segregated into our homes.
Oh, absolutely. I agree with you. You know, we already have buyers out of state buying properties on scene or limited scene. So I think, we're just going to get better with technology to help our customers, get more comfortable with the real estate transactions.
Oh, I agree. And people are busy. I don't know if they really, as much as they love us, and if you look at surveys that say people love the most, it's always title folks and real estate agents, top of the list. But they just don't want to spend that much time with us. I mean, come on. So
no.
I appreciate you so much taking the time, letting folks know that two things. One, hey, that our whole market is adapting. I read off some things from Fannie and Freddie. But at the end of the day, even though we're experiencing this inconvenience now, I think the product that's going to come out at the other end is going to even be better.
I 100% agree. It excites me, and Rich, I'm not very tech savvy.
I'll help you.
We got to get there. I know you will. So I think we don't have a choice, and it'll be our new norm, and we can always do it the old-fashioned way for some. And
there you go.
I think we will see a big change.
Awesome. Well, thank you once again. This was Pam Hall from TransNation Title person extraordinaire. Thank you for your time, and I'll talk to you later.
Sounds great, Rich. Thank you. Appreciate you.
Thanks.
Have a wonderful day.
Thanks. You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, there you have it. So it's not just in the real estate arena, but we're looking at Fannie, Freddie. We're looking at mortgages. We're looking at title. Everyone is coming together to accommodate, because real estate is not going to die. I've had too many calls in the last 72 hours with people going, I'm waiting for the prices to come down 40 or 50%. I think it's 3 out of the last 5 recessions, home values increased. And I should have had that graphic. Next time I will. I keep wanting to touch my face. I don't know about you, but I'm doing this a lot. Hey, no means no. It's terrible. I'm just not used to this. But anyway, let's check out another property. This is a pretty cool property located down in Detroit, Michigan. So if you're looking at having that exciting Detroit living experience, or if you know someone that is, they're going to like this property. This is a coming soon property. It'll be on the market in the next few days, priced at $150,000. But check out this location. Remember, in real estate, it's location, location, location. You are so close. Let's go from outer space, though, eh? You're literally just minutes away from Belle Isle. If sporting or the theater's your thing, here again, just a couple moments away. You enjoy river walks or concerts at Hart Plaza, you can ride your bicycle there. This is Meldrum, located in one of the growing areas of Metro Detroit. This property is coming on the market soon. You can reach out to Nick or DM us, and we will give you the complete tour on this property. Definitely worth checking out. And here again, this is a property in Detroit that's going to be going for $150,000. And I have seen properties, so you're a little bit farther out, but this is that area. It's kind of between that Grosse Pointe and the new area over by Belle Isle. This area is really getting hot. So for future, you're going to see some neat things happening there. So don't miss out on that particular property. I think you're really going to dig it. And once again, if you want to see the entire virtual tour, you're going to want to DM us or call us. DM, direct message us, email us. You can email us at rich@richsparks.com. We will set up a time of your choosing and take you through a private virtual tour of this property and see if you actually like it. And if so, we'll go from there. Now, we do have another property here I want you to check out, and which is kind of funny because at the beginning of this broadcast, I mentioned how ranch-style homes are becoming very rare, and that is the truth. I'm not kidding you. But it seems like everyone we're featuring today, and we're going to have more and more come on for you to check out. I think you're going to like this one. This one is Marcina in Sterling Heights, Michigan. This is a 1,600 square foot ranch priced at $200,000. If you're looking for first floor living, this might be the house for you. So you don't want to miss out on it. You can call or DM us. We'll get you with an agent that'll take you through the entire property. But for the square footage, yes, there is hardwood flooring underneath that entire property. So I think you'll like that. So if you'd like to see the rest of this property, let us know. We'll be happy to set up that private virtual tour for you. It's going to give you great insight into all of what that property has to offer. And at $200,000, you can't beat it. Now, we're going to walk over here, and it is time to give you, unclick this here. We're going to give you those tips you've been waiting for, I'm sure, for working at home. So I've been working from home. Going back to all that technology. But I've been working from home for years. And these are the things that really worked for me. Now, one of the things here is time blocking. Time blocking is paramount. You want to know when you're going to work, and you're not time blocking the whole day. What you're wanting to do is time block about 30% of your day with those most essential items that are going to get you through that day and make you the most productive. Now, what I always time block was first in the morning, my essentials, and the end of the day. And that helped make me very, very productive. Switch. This is one you never hear people talk about, but you can ask my wife if you ever meet her. This was huge for me. I would literally get dressed for work, go to the front door, walk out the front door, walk around the house, come in the back door, go down in the basement where my office was, and that was my switch. So I was going from home life to work life. I think it's very difficult if you plan on just staying on the couch and working from there without that switch. Now, last but not least, guidelines. You need to set guidelines and have that conversation with your family. This is going to help you avoid problems. One of the guidelines I had was, hey, I'm at work when I'm downstairs, just like I was 5 miles away. If you need me, if it's an emergency, please call me. And that worked really well. The first time, and I didn't come up with this right off the bat, but the first time I finally said, hey, stop coming downstairs. Call me if you need me. But those 3 things really helped make me productive while working from home. And I hope that helps you. Now, the last thing, and this is the phrase I want to coin, the nice thing about working from home, and you tell me the things you like about working from home, just put it in the messaging, is a lot of people get to wear their business mullet. Business on top and party on the bottom. So if you have a picture of where you had to do a Zoom meeting and you were dressed up with party on the bottom, hey, share it with us. We'd love to see it. I think it's awesome. And I'd love to see that term get coined. So let me go back over here. Well, I really do hope those tips helped. They helped me when I was working from home. And I think if you apply them, you're going to find they are going to help you too. So we've covered a lot of stuff. At the end of the day, the market is obviously stopped right now to a degree. We do have the executive order from the governor and how it impacts real estate professionals. The governor's off. Basically, she said, hey, listen, you're not critical. Stay home. So realtor services like showing of homes and other properties, open houses, and other client contact should be considered to be non-critical, and travel to do so is prohibited through April 13th. That doesn't mean that you cannot be doing things. One, we have a lot of inventory. We're working some, and obviously it's not just on the buyer side, it's on the seller side. But with our virtual property tours, we are looking at submitting offers for buyers with that contingency we talked about earlier so that you can tie that up a little bit. Because keep in mind, it is going to be a mad rush once we get out of our houses, and you know we will. So that's something to consider. The other thing to consider is getting prepared. If this was your year to buy a home or sell your home, you still want to get prepared. I cannot express that enough, how important it is. Now, for a buyer, when thinking about purchasing a home, there's 3 things. You probably heard that. So let me get this up for you. This is my buyer tip this week. Keep in mind, next week we will have a buyer tip and a seller's tip. The buyer tip will be, or the seller's tip will be, the number 1 way you've left money on the table and didn't even know it. So let's check this out. Thinking about purchasing a home, there's 3 things you need to do right off the bat. First, call the Rich Sparks team. We'll guide you through the process. Secondly, get educated on the process, and we can help you with that. Third, get your finances in order. So let's take a look at the pre-approval process. The pre-approval is a stronger commitment from a lender than pre-qualification. So being pre-approved can give you an edge when there are multiple offers on a home. Here's a basic list of what you might be asked for to get pre-approved for a home loan. The Social Security number for you and your spouse if you're both applying for the loan together. This allows your lender to run an accurate credit check on you. Secondly, copies of your checking and savings account statements for about the past 6 months. Documentation of other assets you might have, like stocks or bonds. A recent pay stub that shows your earnings and the contact information of someone who can confirm that you work there. A list of all credit card accounts with current balances. Your last 2 years of income tax returns. Each lender might have other requirements for pre-approval. I'm always available to help. When thinking about... I'll find the right buttons here, don't worry. Okay, so here's my question to you. Have you been stuck in your house so long that you're looking around going, hey, the next time I get quarantined, I don't want to be here? If so, give us a call. We're happy to help you out and get you going. A few of the things we put in place that we're going to offer up to people is one, we've put together a exclusive Facebook how to become a super buyer. We're going to train you on all the things to look for, all the things to do, and you can watch these broadcasts and you'll get a few tips. And we want to make it a great experience for you. Now, if you're looking at selling your home, we have put on a private Facebook group, and you can ask us how. Just DM us. We'll invite you. This is not a salesy area. So if you're a salesperson wanting to get access in so that you can promote your product to people, we will cut you out. Because that's not what this is about. This is about building a community so that people can help one another. Our biggest thing is we know, and my private experience with our first house, that buying and selling a home or working for trying to help your adult parent downsize or downsizing yourself, this is a big life change. And we want to support you through that. So our 3 new groups in Facebook is how to become a super buyer, how to become a seller and not leave any money on the table, and 3, downsizing together. DM us, call us, we'll get you set up in that group. And I appreciate you so much taking the time today to join me and watch this. Next week, we're going to have a lot more properties. We're going to be replaying this. So if at all possible, we're going to be replaying this at 10 o'clock on Saturday morning. Please share, let other folks know. And we are looking forward to helping you through this process. Please stay safe. At the end of the day, that's all that really matters. And this is from the entire Rich Sparks team, and we appreciate you. This is Rich Sparks. Thanks again for checking this out. We hope, and if there's anything we can do for you, just keep smiling, be patient with one another. We'll all get through this together. Have a great day, and I will talk to you soon. Bye now.